Hello and welcome back to KSP. In this video we start off with our rocket Kansu, which I forgot to include, and I am very sorry for forgetting to include it. Kansu is the Egyptian god of the moon, so I decided to give Minmus the Egyptian titles for its missions and things like that. So on this trip, it ended up being 36 hours, and I actually sent another satellite out to Minmus before this one that actually got there before it, which is so weird. I sent the satellite like several days after I launched this one. It was just so weird. Now we are actually doing our orbital insertion. And yeah, well, actually it was its deorbit burn. Yeah, so there's us doing our deorbit burn, and we're actually getting close enough to land. This mission is pretty much just to see if the surface of Minmus is actually made out of mint ice cream. Yeah, and to do some other scientific research, but mostly to taste the surface of Minmus. Yep. So, as I started the landing maneuver here, I started taking a whole lot of science experiments, just seeing if I could get them all before finally landing on the surface. And now we have landed. Now, I was actually kind of surprised at how sturdy the base of this rocket was. But I guess its center of mass was pretty low, so that kind of helps. And of course we got some more experiments done, and kept trying to use this guy to repair the thing in there, but he kept falling. I think I finally get him after 4 or 5 tries. Oh look, there we go. I got him. Nope, he fell again. There we go. Yeah, 4 or 5 tries. And then after this, I decided that I need to get everyone out of the cockpit so they can, enjoy the ice creamy surface. And now I got Jeb out, and he is going to plant the flag, of course. And of course, we're going to write out what's going on the surface here, and who was here to plant the flag and all of that, and the date, of course. So yeah, and now we're switching to another rocket in just a second after we set up our time for how long the people should stay here, and I decided it was 4 days. I decided 4 days was good enough. And then we switched to the rocket Gabulge. The name. Anyway, I set the maneuver node for the trip to Duna, which we will cover. I don't know when it'll get there. Anyway, I start building the new rocket, Yarn Grippier. Yeah. This satellite is just to measure the temperature around I believe it's just the Mun. Yeah, and it was commissioned by Integrals, I believe the name is. Yeah. So I made a very, very basic rocket that seems to actually work pretty well for this. And actually, I think I'm going to start using it for the basis of my launch vehicle, like the launch vehicle for my smaller satellites. Because, it's fairly cheap, and it does the job. I'm pretty sure it's an SSTO technically, so that's kind of cool. Single stage 2 orbit, not exactly back. We'll see if it actually does I recorded this roughly like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we'll actually see if I did successfully create an SSTO right up here. And yes, I did. It was a single stage 2 orbit. Would you look at that? Now it's stuck in orbit, but that's fine. We can eventually get that back. So, yep. Now I've plotted out the course for the actual satellite to make it there. Now I'm setting up all of the maneuver planning once we get there, or actually even before we get there, so we can actually like fine-tune this whole maneuver. And I made it so within one burn we'll actually make it into the orbit, and we actually did not need as much fuel as we brought along. We brought along so much extra fuel, which can be helpful because of extra missions down the line that might require us to move this satellite. We've already had several, we've already looked at several contracts like that, but I have not accepted any of them. But I can do that in the future. One thing I know I should be getting, or should start doing in coming episodes, is actually establishing a relay network for communications for like long distance satellites, because that's going to be a problem, because I'm not exactly sure if Gay Bulge can even connect to our space center. So that'll be something in the that'll be something that we'll have to worry about in the distance. Now we've moved on to a new rocket. This, not new rocket, but new craft called the Luin of Kelchar. This will be our first probe to Moho. Moho is a small planet with very distinct features that we will soon explore. This will be the first time we'll be able to see these features in true clarity. So yeah, this should be fun. Moho actually takes quite a bit of delta V to reach, and I believe we won't even actually be able to circularize around Moho due to how fast we'll be flying past it. So as you see, we're launching at quite a high speed due to the little thrust we got there. This should get us well out of our planet's sphere of influence, and should start us on our journey to Moho. Yeah, so here you see me just extending all the antennas, doing all the normal average things that you would see, and there we go. We got separation, and you'll see me starting to plan our escape trajectory. Yep, there it is. And now this one was actually kind of tough to get because of how fast Moho moves and how fast we need to move to actually reach it. It's very hit or miss to get to Moho. It's very difficult. It's not exactly endgame. Returning from Eve, I believe, is pretty endgame. Not returning from Eve, probably returning from, I think it was a Bop, should be, or Tylo. Tylo's the one that's the very high in gravity one. So that should be, alright, so now we have our maneuver planned, and now all we have to do is burn like hell, as as they say, and I believe it's The Expanse. The Expanse is actually pretty accurate when it comes to space travel, which is kind of cool. So yeah, this burn actually took quite a while. You're actually watching it at 5 times speed right now, so you're at an advantage. It was not an enjoyable burn to sit through, and I'm really scared of the nuclear and particularly the ion engines, and I might never use ion engines in this playthrough just because of how painful they are to sit through. And I like to do these missions, or not these missions, but these plays in, you know, one sitting, even though it takes like several hours to do all of this. Yeah. So yeah, then I was planning for a maneuver node about halfway along our trip, and with the completion of this maneuver node, this brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.